Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt small, or watched a sunset and felt awe? Many people have. These experiences often make us think about God. Nature has a way of pointing to something bigger than ourselves. The Bible tells us that creation speaks of God's existence. In Romans 1-20, it says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made." This means we can learn about God by looking at what he's made. It's like seeing an artist through their paintings. By the end, I hope you'll see nature with new eyes. You might just spot God's fingerprints all around you. Let's start by thinking about space. The universe is huge, with billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. Earth is like a tiny speck in all of this, yet perfectly placed for life to exist. The precision of the universe is mind-blowing. Planets orbit in perfect paths, stars form in intricate patterns. Scientists call this fine-tuning. Think about gravity, just right to keep us on Earth, but not crush us. All of this points to a powerful, intelligent creator. As Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands." The universe looks like the work of a master designer. The Bible has a lot to say about God's role in creation. Genesis 1:1 tells us, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." This simple statement sets the stage for everything else. God is presented as the source of all that exists. As we read on in Genesis, we see God creating step by step. Light, sky, land, plants, animals, all appear at his command. This shows God's power and authority over nature. Other parts of the Bible also talk about God's creative work. In Job 38-41, God challenges Job with questions about nature. The Psalms are full of praise for God's creative power. Psalm 104 describes God's care for all creatures. These Bible passages invite us to see God's wisdom and care in the world around us. Now, let's bring things closer to home. We don't need to look at distant galaxies to see God's work. There are wonders all around us, every day. Take a flower, for example. It's a complex system for reproducing plants. Or think about the changing seasons. They happen like clockwork, year after year. Water is another everyday miracle. It expands when it freezes, protecting life below in lakes and oceans. Water also has just the right properties to move through plant stems and our blood vessels. Even the air we breathe is remarkable. It's a perfect mix of gases for life. Trees and plants help clean the air. The water cycle refreshes it. It's a complex system that works perfectly to support life. These everyday wonders point to a wise and caring creator. As Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Let's zoom in even closer and look at living things themselves. Every plant and animal is a marvel of engineering. Take the human eye, for instance. It can distinguish millions of colors and adjusts to light and dark. Or consider DNA, the blueprint of life. It's like a language written in chemicals. This information is packed incredibly tightly. As Psalm 139:14 says, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." The variety of life on Earth is staggering. From tiny bacteria to massive whales, each creature is perfectly adapted to its environment. Think about camouflage in animals, or how plants turn sunlight into food. Each of these abilities points to incredible design. Even the tiniest living things are complex beyond imagination. The more we learn about life, the more amazing it appears. As we've seen, nature is full of evidence pointing to God. From the vast universe to the tiniest cell, we see design, beauty, and purpose. These things suggest a wise and powerful creator. As Romans 1-20 reminds us, God's invisible qualities can be seen in what He has made. Nature is like a signpost directing us to its maker. This doesn't mean we can prove God exists through nature alone. Faith is still needed. But for those willing to look, creation offers powerful hints of God's reality. I encourage you to look at nature with new eyes. As Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of His hands." Let creation lead you to praise its Creator.